The grid for the first race here in Welkom today is an interesting one in that the two men battling for the third spot in the championship, Toby Scheckter and Johan Fourie, are on the front row. And behind them, the man who's second in the championship, Grant Orbell, he 27 points behind Marc Gleed, who's a mere fourth. Gleed won't be too happy with that scenario. Toby, you must be very happy. It's your second pole position for 1996. The car's going very well.
Yeah, the car's been going very well this whole weekend. I enjoy the track. This long straight here makes it a bit interesting at the end corner there, with judgment-wise, and slipstreaming plays an important role.
So Toby Scheckter on pole position from Cape Town, Johan Fourie in the Reynard alongside him. The second row sees the two big men who battle right throughout the year, Grant Orbell and Marc Gleed, with Raymond Paul from Zimbabwe and Gary Mortimer filling the front row of the grid in Class B. 23 entries for round 17 under a hot Welkom sun, ready for more of the super close single-seater racing. A clean start off the line as they head towards the S's with Scheckter up front, Fourie, Gleed, who's passed Orbell for third, and the yellow car of Andy Brown fifth. And now the new livery top-tint Reynard, that's car number 39 of Graham Coleman, also in the picture. At the end of the long back straight is hard braking from 220 kilometers per hour. Gleed is shot to the top, Scheckter now second, and Johan Fourie and his MD Transport Reynard in third position in the close battle. Brown lies fourth with Coleman still hot on his heels. Through the second set of S's at West Bank, and Gleed has a slender advantage in his pursuit to become the champion. Further back, Raymond Paul leads in Class B, but these three are involved in a big battle. That's Ashford Darwood, followed by Abraham Levy. Ahead of them, Alan Mayer. Over the start-finish line, the leading trio are very, very close together. Brown has a bit of room to move, and Orbell has Grant Simpson right on his tail. Scheckter in the auto-equipped Swift is going all out for his first win of the season, taking the inside line and going to the front. Gleed has tons of pressure from Fourie as well. The teenager also reclaims his starting position with a superb piece of driving. Andy Brown, meanwhile, has moved up. They're followed by an off-the-pace Orbell and the battle for sixth between Coleman and Simpson. Having a 27-point lead in the championship, Gleed knows he doesn't have to win this time out, just score maximum points wherever he can and stay ahead of Grant Orbell in the championship. Fourie in second position is looking for his first race win after two excellent thirds last time out at East London. Lower down, Ian Shrosby and Graham Hepburn are coming into the picture. Grant Simpson has Shrosby on his tail right now. Behind him is Graham Hepburn in his Sten Swift, a man who's had an odd good performance during the course of this season, but hasn't really finished on the podium. Gleed shows a huge turn of speed, outrunning Scheckter down the main straight, and Brown also coming into the picture now, outmaneuvering Fourie for that third spot. Today's race once again shows that Formula Ford is producing fast, tight and career-building single-seater racing in South Africa these days. It's as close in Class B, where Raymond Paul has a slight edge over Gary Mortimer and 96 class leader Ian Smith. Holding stations up front, and the 96 Motortech Van Diemen of Grant Orbell makes up ground on the straight. He desperately needs lots of points today. Ian Shrosby had battery hassles in qualifying. He started at the back of the grid, but is driving as hard as he can. And here he's moving up, outbraking Grant Simpson and going through to take sixth spot in the Venturi Motorsport Top Car Reynard car. Back to the front runners with just a few laps to go at Goldfields Raceway. And Andy Brown moving up, takes Scheckter, but something seems to be wrong with his car. He's slowing significantly. Fourie moves up as well. Shrosby, meanwhile, has taken Simpson and lies fifth overall. Scheckter is merely circulating. Unseen, Orbell has faded from the race, so it's Gleed, Fourie, who's just broken the lap record, Brown, Shrosby now fourth, Simpson and the Sten Swift of Graham Hepburn. And that's the way they'll finish in round 17 of Saddle Formula 4. Orbell's crew, meanwhile, are already hard at work repairing a broken distributor. Schechter's race was cut short by a gearbox problem. Both of them will have a lot of hard work to do in round 18 to come from the back of the grid. So Gleed wins from Fourie, Brown and Shrosby in Class A, and in Class B, another good win for Gary Mortimer from his main rival Ian Smith. Raymond Paul dropped back to third, and a great race for Ben Keert in the Royale.
We did win. It was a good race. 3/4 of the way through the race, you start forgetting about going for second or third. You just want to win. We did win it. We're now 37 points clear in the championship. It's all not sewn up yet, but it's very close.
Loads of pressure on the young men up front. Gleed knows another 9 points will virtually guarantee him the 97 title, alongside Fourie has moved into third in the title race. It's a clean start for Gleed and a demon run to the S's by Andy Brown. He claims second position ahead of Fourie, and the field, virtually intact from the first race, goes through at 180 kilometers per hour through the long and tricky sweep. It's here where the men are sorted out from the boys, and as they go into the final corner, it's a case of Fourie reclaiming second position from Shrosby, diving through, displacing Brown into false spots. Toby Schechter is charging through the field, attacking fellow Cape Townian Andrew Grace, and Orbell is also flying at the back. Gleed and Fourie are going hammer and tong. Shrosby is still third, and Andy Brown in the impressive-looking Reynard. He's been in the points every race since Kyalami in August. Fourie is using every trick he knows to grab the lead, but Gleed in the 95 winning Swift is a good, crafty driver. Great spectating at the end of the back straight. Having got the toe he wanted, Fourie is slightly later on the brakes and passes Gleed. Andy Brown's pulling the same maneuver on Shrosby. This is great Formula Ford racing. Meanwhile, Fourie's taking all the heat up front with Gleed behind him, still knowing that he needs just a second to keep his advantage over Grant Orbell. The large crowd at Welkom love the spectacle, and meanwhile, behind them in the Class B battle, it's Ian Smith and Gary Mortimer battling it out in the two wide cars, with Schechter and Orbell having their own battle midfield. Gleed, meanwhile, has dethroned Fourie to be top dog again. Shrosby and Brown seem settled for third and fourth, respectively. While leading Class B, Raymond Paul breaks too late, and that's the end of young Grant Scott, who is a victim of his excursion. The Venturi boys, Fourie and Shrosby, are packing Gleed with all their fighting teeth. Schechter and Orbell are having their own battle, and this, unfortunately, only for 7th position. That means no points today. Fourie has to buy Gleed again. He's going all out for that maiden win, but could well have Gleed too close and get the toe on the final lap of the race. Gleed gets the toe that he wanted, takes the lead going through the final quarter lap of the second heat at Welkom. Behind him, though, it's still Shrosby with Andy Brown in the yellow car in hot pursuit. One of the backmarkers, that's Richard Lyon from Natal, lets them go through. The two fighting for the 6th spot. In front in the white and red car, it's Grant Simpson. In the black car behind him, the top-tint Reynard of Graham Coleman. Marc Gleed has used his opportunities superbly. Fourie's first win cannot be too far off, and Ian Shrosby should be happy with a 4th and a 3rd on the day. So Marc Gleed goes a further 45 points ahead in the championship, ahead of Grant Orbell after the 2 wins. Johan Fourie is second there. He's moved up to 3rd spot in the championship. Ian Shrosby is now 6th, and Andy Brown, a great race for him. Ian Smith still leads Class B. And the Crystal Springs try of the day went to Grant Simpson from Cape Town.